Hi, I'm Mindy from the UC Rec Center, and thank you for tuning in. Before you get settled, you might want to grab a blanket or maybe a couch pillow, a block, or maybe a thick book, anything that you can use for possible props later. And then I'm going to have you go ahead and come all the way down onto the back, lay down on your back, and bend your knees, feet on the floor, and just notice how comfortable you are or aren't. And if it would feel better to have a little something under your head, you could tuck that blanket under your head. Feel better to separate your knees a little bit and separate your feet, and let the knees rest against each other. That's another option. But I would love for you to just close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. And we'll do that a couple of times. And if it's comfortable for you, I invite you to put your hands on your belly. So when you're breathing in, you can really feel the belly rise up and expand. The body fills with air. And then you exhale and it settles back down, allowing all the air to flow out. So just taking a few deep breaths here while we settle in. Keeping the eyes closed. There's nothing that you have to look at. But take the right leg up toward the ceiling and just grab on behind the thigh or maybe the calf. But don't force anything. Just gently draw that leg in toward your body so you feel a stretch in the back of the leg. If you need to keep your knee bent a little bit, that's fine. And we're not warmed up yet, so don't force this. Continue with a deep breath in. Complete exhale out. And then we'll put that foot down and take the left leg up. Grab onto it somewhere behind the thigh, behind the calf. Gently draw it in. Just kind of waking up the backs of the legs. Just doing some warm-ups while we lay down on the back today. And I would love to focus on the concept of contentment. So go ahead and put that leg down. And then just let your knees come up and over to the left. Okay, so then you can keep your arms in a kind of a cactus goalpost shape, or you can reach your arms out to the sides. Just a very gentle twist. Turn your head to the right. One breath in and out. And then we'll switch to the other side. Finding your way to your right side, knees kind of up near your body, reaching out to the left, turning head to the left. Okay, and we'll come back to center. And then press your feet into the ground, hip width apart, arms down by your hips. Lift your hips up off the ground. Little bridge pose here. And then exhale, roll the spine back down. Okay, inhale, lift your tailbone, then your hips, then your lower back, middle back, upper back. Exhale, upper back, middle back, lower back, hips, tailbone. And then pause there. Inhale to lift it up. One more time. And exhale to lower it down. And then bring the knees up into the chest. You can hold behind your thighs, in front of your shins, in front of your knees, and just rock back and forth. You can rock up and down also on the spine. And then maybe make some circles with the knees so you're massaging out that low back. Relax your head. And then we'll rock all the way up to seated. If that doesn't work for you, you can roll to one side and press up to seated. So just a couple simple stretches we did there to settle in and begin to let go of the morning, the evening, the day, wherever you are in your day. And close your eyes and think about this idea of contentment. I'll be reading a few things from this book called A Year of Positive Thinking. Contentment is a choice. Contentment is like a big old hug at the end of the day, of a hard day. You inhale deeply and everything else disappears around you. It's a satisfaction, a joy, an ease that you experience when you decide that what you have is plenty. One caveat is that you are the only person who decides whether contentment is possible or impossible. So we can practice this on the yoga mat by actually choosing variations of the postures that feel good to our bodies, which creates contentment. Or we can also practice it by choosing some really challenging variation of a posture and breathing with that and seeing if you can be content with the discomfort, comfortable with the discomfort. Okay, so let's find our way over to hands and knees. And if your knees are tender, tuck that blanket under your knees. If your wrists are tender, you could walk your hands a little bit further forward. Breathe out, round your back. Breathe in, arch the back. So tailbone lifts, belly dips down, chest opens, chin up, shoulders back. Exhale, tailbone under, belly in, middle back up toward the ceiling, chin to chest. Reverse that. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale back to neutral. Take your feet to the right. Look over your right shoulder. Exhale, lean hips to the left. So C curve in your spine. Belly's drawing in. Nice big stretch of the left side of the body. And then come through center. Take feet to the left. Look over left shoulder. As you exhale, lean the hips to the right. Belly drawing in. Nice stretch of the right side of the body. Okay, back to center. Tuck your toes under. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, lift the knees and hips, finding downward dog. Bend one knee, press through the opposite heel. Keep those fingers spread nice and wide. Switch, pressing through the opposite heel. And draw the ears, suck the belly in. You can switch the knees back and forth a couple times, pedaling the feet, waking up the backs of the legs. So just let the body move, shift back and forth as you bend one knee, bend the other knee. And then actually start walking forward, little tiny steps. Walking forward and walking the hands back toward the feet. And then we'll walk all the way up to the top of the mat and just release the upper body down over the legs. Knees can stay soft. Take your arms out, straight out behind you. So your fingertips are reaching behind you. And then sink your hips a little bit more. So you're looking down at the floor, maybe slightly forward. Exhale, squeeze the belly in, engage your legs, and then inhale, swing your arms forward and all the way up. Exhale, lean back. Keep your belly drawing in. Inhale, back up, and exhale, bring the hands down over the heart. Breathe in. Breathe out. We'll do a little flow here to warm up the body. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, plant the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, bend the knees, step your right leg back and lower that back knee. Okay, bring your hands to the front knee and sink your hips down. The back knee should be a little behind the hip so that you can feel that stretch of the hip flexor. You could keep your back toes tucked under, or you could point the back toes. And again, if you feel discomfort in that right knee, go ahead and put something under it. All right, breathe out, draw your shoulders down the back. Breathe in, take your arms forward and up. Breathe in, sink hips, reach fingertips towards ceiling. Breathe out, bring the hands back down. Right hand to the ground, left hand to the knee. Look up over left shoulder. Maybe you even reach that left arm up if it doesn't hurt your shoulder. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, bring your hand down on the inside of your foot and walk the left foot out to the left a bit more. And then your knee is going to go the same direction as the foot. You could lift your back knee up or keep it down. This is lizard lunge. You could keep your arms extended or you could bend the elbows. All right, and then we'll inhale, straighten the arms if they were bent and lower that back knee. Bring your left leg back. All right, shift forward to a knees plank and shift back to puppy pose. Toes tucked under, hips toward heels, arms reaching forward. Chest relaxing down toward the ground. Spread the fingers wide and see if you can sort of draw your arm bones back into the shoulders. Shoulder blades drawing together behind you. Should create a nice bit of a stretch in that upper back. All right, inhale, back up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, take your right leg high to the sky And exhale, bend the knee, taking knee toward the ceiling, opening up that right hip, the front of the right hip. Inhale, straighten that leg back out. And exhale, get it forward between the hands. You might need to lower back knee or use your hand to help it along. Just get it up there and then bring your hands up to your front knee. So we are now on the other side. Back knee is a bit behind your hip. So feel that hip flexor stretch. Sink the hips down, draw the navel in, lift up through the chest. As you inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, sink the hips as you reach for the ceiling. Inhale and exhale, bring the hands down. Inhale, step your back foot forward, coming to hands on shins. Exhale, soften knees and fold over legs. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And exhale, all the way back down. Bend knees, plant hands. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, bend knees, plant hands, left leg back this time. Lower the knee. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, fold down. Left hand stays on the ground, right hand to your knee. Look up over right shoulder. Maybe lift right arm for a little spinal twist here. You can lift your back knee too if you want. Breathe in. Breathe out, bring this hand down and walk the foot out to the side. Okay, so knee going right in the same direction as the foot. Optional, stay right here or lift the back knee or bend the elbows. So you take a variation of lizard lunge that is either really pleasurable, where you can naturally feel that contentment, a nice easy stretch, or make it more challenging. So you are having to work a bit. And then just use your breath to find that contentment within the discomfort. And then we'll lower that back knee and step the front leg back. Inhale there. And then exhale, hips, tuck toes under, hips to heels, puppy pose. Inhale. And exhale, spread fingers wide, draw shoulders in, arms into the shoulder sockets. Shoulder blades together, chest toward the ground, maybe the head rests on the ground. Inhale, lift up to hands and knees. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Stay right there or exhale, bend the knee, opening the hip, lifting knee toward the ceiling. Inhale, straighten that leg back out behind you. And exhale, bring it forward between the hands, helping it along if you need to. Lower that back knee down. Breathe in, rise up. And breathe out, come down. Breathe in, step forward, hands to shins, flat back. And breathe out, fold down over the legs, softening the knees. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach for the ceiling and lean back. Exhale. Inhale, up. And exhale, release your hands down over the heart. Okay, inhale, step your left leg back. And keep the hips squared toward the front. And if you have something, a block, or it could even be like an upside down pot from your stove, or a couple of thick books, we're going to put that on the inside of the front foot. I'm going to put mine in the tallest position. If you don't have anything, it's okay. You can just, I'll show you how to do it without a block. Okay, but press down on your hips, left hip forward, right hip back. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Exhale, fold out over this front leg. Keep pressing that right hip back so your hips stay steady. Press into all four corners of that front foot. And then release your left hand down to the block. If you don't have a block, you could just put your left hand on your shin, your right shin. If you'd like a lower block, you can lower it. So we're going to find what works for your body here. And then begin to look up over the right shoulder. This is twisted triangle. Reach that arm up, the right arm up if that works for you. Look up at it if that works for you. Press all four corners of both feet down. Draw your belly in. Nice long spine. And then breathe out, release that hand down, bend into your front knee. And we're going to take the block, lift your back heel up, take the block a little bit more forward, and then we can lift the back leg. So this is kind of like Warrior 3, but you are using some support with your hands on something. Okay, so here's where we can be really content. You're going to flex that left leg, lift it, lift the thigh, pull the belly in, hips stay level, shoulders back away from ears. You can stay right here, or you could bring your arms back alongside your hips. We're adding difficulty here. So if you're feeling really unsteady there, maybe you bring your hands back down and balance like that. Another variation we could do here is standing splits. So you could bring your hands back down to that block or to the floor and continue to lift that left leg higher. See if you can keep your hips squared toward the mat. Final variation, holding the ankle instead of the floor or the block. And breathe. Whichever one you're choosing, you breathe. And then we'll bend into that standing leg. Bring your left foot down to plant it right next to the right foot. Round the back up. Keep knees bent. Lowest part of the back rounding, middle back, upper back. Finally, we come all the way back up to standing. I'm going to try that stuff on the other side. So step your right leg back. And bring your thing on the inside of your left foot this time. Square the hips, press down on the hips. Inhale, lengthen up through the chest. And then exhale, fold out over this left leg. Keep left hip back, right hip forward, hips squared toward the front of your mat. Shoulders back, belly in. Nice long spine. And then we'll bring the right hand down to the block or to your shin or to the floor. And then lift the left shoulder, lift your gaze out to the left, maybe lift that left arm. So can you breathe through it? Can you keep that steady breath going and find that contentment? Let that left hand come back down and then bend into the front leg and bring that block or whatever you have more forward out in front of you. And we'll lift the right leg up this time. So variation of warrior three pose. Really flex the lifted leg. So reach the toes toward the body. Pull the belly in. We want to keep that right hip down. Shoulders even. And then optional. Everything else is optional. You could bring your arms alongside your hips. Warrior three. Some people like to reach the arms forward. If you're feeling really unsteady, you keep your hands on that block. And if you would like to try something a little more challenging, you could bring hands to the floor or to the block. Lift that right leg higher. Standing splits. And then really, if you want to challenge yourself, you could bring your hands to your left ankle instead of the floor. Breathing. Can you keep the steady breath? And then we'll bring that right foot down, plant it next to the left, bend into your knees, and we'll round up slowly again. So arms and head stay heavy, round your back, pull that belly in, and round it up, and we come on all the way up to standing. And just take a pause, bring your hands together in front of your heart, let the thumbs rest against the chest, and close your eyes or soften your gaze, and just take a moment to observe your tendencies. Do you tend to find what's wrong in every situation or look for what's right? Without judgment, just noticing. Yoga is about discovering ourselves. It's a journey through the self, to the self, with the self. And once we are aware of ourselves, then we can more consciously choose. Inhale, take those arms up. And exhale, fold all the way forward. Bend knees, plant hands. Step the feet back to downward dog. And take a breath in. Breathe out, lower the knees. Take the feet around to one side and sit yourself down. And we're going to come back down onto the back once more. Okay? So bend your knees and bring your knees up right above your hips. Put your hands on your belly and press your belly down. Press your low back down. So this is almost as if you're on hands and knees. Your legs are in the position they would be in if you're on hands and knees. Keep pressing that low back down. It takes a little bit of core work to hold the back down while holding the knees above the hips. I'm going to stay here for a little while. So if you need to take a break, you can bring the knees a bit closer to your face. If you'd like a little more challenge, you could stretch your legs out, straightening them, where you're activating the muscles of the core a little bit more. So just find where you can breathe and you can be content with the discomfort and observe the challenge of those core muscles. I am content. Good. Hug the knees in. Rock back and forth. And then find your thing, your pillow or your block or your doubly folded blanket or thick folded towel, and lift up your hips and slide this thing right under your hips. So we want this to be under the hips, not under the back. Okay, so figure out where your hips are nice and supported, and then close your eyes and feel this bridge pose that is an effortless bridge pose. So your hips are elevated, they're supported. Your body is supported by the floor. And think about what supports you have available to you in your life. Friends, family, professional support people, teachers, IT techs, if you're having technical issues, which are common these days. Just take a minute to scan through your mind of all the types of supports that you have available to you. Life is easier when we count on those supports, when we allow ourselves to be supported. Just like this bridge pose is easier, it's easier to feel content in this easeful bridge pose, and we're going to feel the opposite. So lift your hips up, press into the backs of the arms, press into the feet. You might even walk your shoulder blades a little closer together behind you, really lifting up the chest. Lengthen the knees out toward the wall in front of you. Lengthen the tailbone toward the knees. And just feel all of that work happening in the back body. Breathe in. And then breathe out, lowering the hips back down onto the support. And then take your feet up toward the ceiling. So really reach them up. And you can stay there with your hips supported. If shoulder stand is in your practice, you might choose shoulder stand here. But if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. We're just going to hold our bodies upside down for a few minutes. Well, maybe not minutes, moments. Find the breath. And I have another reading from this same book. Adversity is necessary too. Though it may not be comfortable, adversity teaches you resilience and courage. It teaches you to hold on tightly to what matters most and to surrender what doesn't. It is the anchor to humanity that prevents you from flying too far, too fast, scorching yourself on the sun. For all the beauty in life, and life is indeed beautiful, you still need the balance of adversity to grow stronger so you can live a more meaningful life. I really like that reading because everything that's going on now is challenging and maybe not exactly how we want it to be. And so we can appreciate this moment in time and all of its difficulties, knowing that it is making us stronger, helping us develop courage and resilience. So we can be content even with those challenges. Bend your knees, bring your feet back down to the ground. Lift the hips and remove what you have underneath you. And then just stretch out long on the mat, reaching your feet toward the corners of the mat and turning your palms up. Just checking how much time we have. Turn the palms up. Now notice here, do you feel really comfortable? And if you don't, find a way to be more comfortable. There's no wrong way to do yoga, even relaxation pose. You want to be able to fully relax. So support your body in any way that would help you to relax more. And breathe in through the nose. Nice deep breath. Feel that belly expand. Breathe out through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. This time, puffing up your lips, your cheeks, allowing the face to get a little vibration, and then allowing the face to relax a little bit more. The eyes, especially the eyes that have been looking at screens a lot. Allow all those muscles around the eyes to soften. Allow your jaw to soften. Feel the heaviness of your head. And let that heaviness flow down through your torso, from your shoulders down to your hands, from your hips down to your toes. See if you can let go a little bit more. In an effort to not have the video be too long, I'm going to bring you out of your relaxation, but I highly suggest that you stay longer if you have time. So you could just reach over and turn off the video and just stay here until you're ready to get up. Otherwise, we'll begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. And feel how these little movements feel really good. Let them make you content. Do things that feel good. Maybe rolling wrists and ankles, allowing the movements to grow, bending elbows and knees, maybe full body stretch, anything that feels really good. Eventually bringing the knees up toward the body and rolling to one side, and then pressing yourself up to seated. So we come back to where we started, sort of. We started laying down, but finding that comfortable seat. Rest your hands on your knees. On an exhale, feel yourself rooting down into your seat. On an inhale, feel your head reaching up toward the sky, so your spine is nice and long. The goal of yoga is union or connection with our true selves, with the part of ourself that doesn't change, that is not changed by adversity, challenge, excitement. It's always this steady vibration somewhere inside of us. So that state of being can be represented by the sound vibration of Om. It's just a steady, smooth vibration. So I'm going to sing it one time. You could sing it with me or just listen. Nice deep breath in. Om. And then bring the hands together in front of the heart. Bring your chin down toward your chest, acknowledging your true self, your inner teacher, and giving yourself some gratitude for spending this time to move your body and let go of some stress on the yoga mat today. Thank you so much for tuning in. The light in me sees and honors the light in you through cyberspace. Namaste. Have a great day or night, evening, whatever it is for you. Hope to see you in person sometime soon.